Oh boy. Bring tissues, guys. Bring tissues. Hi, and welcome back to the Ruby Tuesday. My name's Ruben, and this is my review for the final season of Lucifer, season 6. It's a Netflix original series. Now, non spoiler review, I will be doing a ranking at the end. So if you want to know how I thought about this series in a whole and where it sits in the 6, I'll chat about that at the end. But for now, let's jump in. So at the end of the season 5, we had a whole battle fought for Lucifer to be able to be the new god. God has actually disappeared into another dimension, and so he's nowhere to be seen. So Earth needs a god, and so there was this big celestial battle. I'm sure you've seen that, and now he has the potential to become god. The thing is, he's hesitating, and that's what this season is about. We have 10 episodes, they're about an hour long each. The first couple of episodes really didn't make me feel like this was going to end well, because I thought they didn't really know what they wanted to do with it. It felt all over the place. The characters were kind of topsy-turvy. I was like, what is going on? But thankfully, from about episode 3, it just felt right. So the meat of this series has always been Lucifer with his detective solving cases. And when you take that away, because now we have the detective who's no longer a detective, and we have Lucifer no longer solving cases with the detective, now that becomes topsy-turvy because they're just kind of hanging about. Lucifer still has his issues he needs to sort out before he can become God, but now they're no longer part of that force. So what happens is there's a twist in the storyline. As we saw at the end, Amedadil is learning to be a cop, and so we have some of the detective work on that side of the storyline, which is a very nice way to do it, because it kind of sets you at ease going, okay, so they're doing the celestial magic superpower things on the side, and the relationships, which has always been a core part of the series, but we still have the focus of the police force, which helps kind of drive it, kind of solidify it, cement it to what it needs to be. So we have a couple of cases for our characters to solve, and at the same time we still obviously have the big overarching story with Lucifer becoming God, and he's once again got to go on the couch. He's got to kind of sort himself out. There's things that he needs to. He's come a long way since the beginning, being worthy of being a son, but now is he worthy of being a god? And then also he's asking so much of his detective, whether she should actually be his second. She's giving up a lot. There's a lot going on in this series. What I was surprised by, there's a couple of new characters. Well, there's one particular new character. If you've seen the trailer, you'll probably guess it. But there's a relationship formed between the detective and Lucifer, that is the core premise, really. There was a big surprise as to what was going to happen with this. And I was wondering what the main draw was. I was really worried that they were going to draw it out as Lucifer having to figure out whether he wants to be God and rule Earth. I thought if they're going to do that for 10 episodes, it's going to get tired quickly. They need a driving force. And thankfully, we have most of, if not all of our favorite characters come back. Well, mine anyway. The core protagonists are there that you know and love. There are a couple of goodbye episodes. I expected that to be in this, which is fine, and they do it in a way that's not cheesy, but at the same time give them enough space and time for you to kind of say goodbye to the characters. This is a love letter, really, to the fans, because it's been cancelled twice. It's amazing, it went from its network that cancelled to Netflix picking up saying that, okay, that's all we're going to give it to, and then got cancelled, and the fans got behind them again, and now they have this final 10 episodes, and it really does feel like they've pulled out all the creative stops as well, particularly because it's on Netflix. They can go crazy. I know a lot of people weren't mad about, I think, season 4, and some really didn't like season 5. I've liked what they've done creatively because Netflix have given them a platform to kind of go wild. Thankfully, though, it does feel like, annoyingly and thankfully, that they really found their footing in this season. And so we have something that feels like Lucifer, along with the celestial stuff, along with the relationships that are obviously being tested, the growth that we're going to see, some characters, finding out about the supernatural stuff, and other characters coming back with conclusions to storylines that we really needed. And that, for the most part, is what this series does. It's finishing off storylines, seeing where our characters go. I would say this does suffer with a Return of the King, Lord of the Rings issue. It kind of doesn't know when it needs to end. There's a Harry Potter sort of ending where a lot of things are explained. So you see our characters, you think it's the end, it fades to black, and there's multiple scenes like that. I didn't mind it because I was invested. I wanted to know what happened to all of our characters in the end. There's a nice wrap up, and I feel like it does its justice. So we have the goodbye story, but there is an arc in there that's really riveting. It makes Lucifer more endearing. It gives him so much more growth as a character. At the same time, he feels like a whole family unit now, which makes the weight of the decision that he makes towards the end of the series so much more weightier, that it actually feels like the writers really knew what they were doing in conclusion as to writing the conclusion of this. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I preferred it to season 5, so I'm going to give this an A. So I'll do my ranking quick. I love the first 2 seasons. I think I would go 1 and 2, but then it would be 6 at the 3rd position, and then 4 and 5. So it'd be 1, 2. I'm missing on 3. Yeah, 1, 2, 6, 4, 5, 3. I think that's where I sit in the rankings. I felt like 3 kind of veered off. It didn't quite know what was going to happen. Possibly why it got cancelled. Not that I don't love every one of the seasons, but like having to choose them. Let me know in the comments below, who's your favorite character? Where are you hoping this is going to go? When you do see it, what did you think? Did you like the ending? Give me your ranking down below, and who's your favorite character? Thanks so much for watching this, but most of all, until next time, remember, live long and Tuesday.